My 11 Circle presents CrickBuzz Live. Now, we've taken the covers off to start the show, but as far as where the match is happening in Cardiff, there are plenty of covers all around, plenty of cloud cover, as well as, of course, covers for the ground are close by. So we know it's going to be that kind of day in Wales, and it always means it should be a very interesting battle, particularly something for the quicker bowlers. We've got one quick bowler and a batsman, a wicket-keeper batsman in the studio, so let's go quickly to them and meet Zahir Khan and Robbie Uthappa. I know I keep saying that wicket-keeper batsman, not that you've always been doing that, but you'd like to be referred to as that?
No, I prefer being referred to as a batsman who can actually keep from time to time.
Fair
required.
Fair enough, fair enough. I guess some Mohammad Shahzad probably likes to think of that, though he does keep a lot. But two teams yet to register a point, so that always makes for a spicier battle, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and if you look at the approaches also, and you look at the statement what the Sri Lankan captain had given just after the match, suggests that they were not really ready to be put under similar kind of condition again. And what you fear the most, usually you have to face that only. So that's something which so many times you've seen in cricket. So
that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, at times in the field when you're dropping catches, you hope that hope the ball doesn't come to me, hope the ball doesn't come to me. Invariably it comes to you, and you again drop the catch. I think it's a similar kind of situation with the Sri Lankan team. They are looking for excuses outside of what is happening or outside of what is in their control. What you have to do, conditions you can't really do anything about. Whatever is being put out there, you have to deal with that. You have to find ways, and you have to put up runs on board. So today again batting first. What they have to focus on, rather than saying that here we go, it's tough condition, we don't want to play on these kind of conditions, we want to in their control. What you have to do, conditions you can't really do anything about. Whatever is being put out there, you have to deal with that. You have to find ways, and you have
The flying Finn from Helsinki is on his last lap, looking magnificently good for his 20th World Championship win.
Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes.
Welcome back. 2 overs have been bowled and Sri Lanka have got off to a fiery start. 20 runs in the 2 overs that have been bowled so far. Karunaratne on 6 from 8 deliveries, while Kusal Perera has done the major, scoring 12 from 4 deliveries. Hamid Hassan giving away 14 in his first over, while Daulat Zadran, who got a bit of purchase from the track, gave away just 5. Zadran to begin his second over, and the plan from Afghanistan would be to contain the openers, and if they're able to get one of those quickly, then they can make inroads in the batting lineup, because we've seen what happened in the previous game against New Zealand. Their quickers, their seamers consistently bowled on good line and lengths and were able to make breakthroughs.
Yes, of course, that is very important, and more importantly, not just containing Perera and Karunaratne. If Afghanistan get lucky, they would try to get one of them out, because these are the two linchpins for Sri Lanka, the most important batsmen in their lineup. And as it is, everybody is aware that for Sri Lanka, this particular ground has not been a happy hunting ground. They've lost all their matches played at this particular venue. They've lost to New Zealand by a wicket in 2013, then to India by 8 wickets in the same tournament, lost to England in 2016 by a huge margin of 122 runs, then lost to Pakistan by 3 wickets in 2017, and then New Zealand, they gave them a hammering just 2 days back by 10 wickets on the same ground.
Yes, they would want to change the history and build a new present so that their future is somewhat secured, because the Sri Lankan cricket, as we have been discussing, has just faltered and gone down from bad to worse in the last 3-4 years. Meanwhile, if you talk about the ODI matches, the maximum number of matches that anyone has played for Afghanistan is Mohammad Nabi with 114 matches, and is second best by Mohammad Shahzad, your favorite Mohammad Shahzad, with 84 games. You were talking about his skills, but he seems to be more experienced in the Afghanistan side at the moment.
Meanwhile, it's getting a bit cloudy around the ground, and we can see a threat. But that threat is always there in England of rain. However, there's a slight more than a cloud cover which is covering the ground. There's no sunlight. There was some sunlight to begin with when the match started, but within 2.2 overs, things have changed a bit. Meanwhile, the third ball, this was bouncing very well and swung after going past the batsman. However, Karunaratne decided to leave it. Daulat is bowling just as opposite to the other bowler, that is Hamid Hassan, as possible, because he has barely given any runs except for a freak boundary in his over, and he's bowling at a decent pace, 140 kilometers an hour.
Well, absolutely. Daulat has used the conditions much suited. He's much suited to the conditions right now because he's using the new ball to his abilities, and he's able to extract some swing, if not a lot. And that's what he has done. He's bowled in the right areas, and the Sri Lankan batsmen have also been careful against him, especially Karunaratne, as he's just blocked most of the deliveries apart from the one that was bowled on the leg side that was clipped away for a 4. Even if you talk about the Sri Lankan batting lineup, last time it was Lahiru Thirumanni who opened the innings, and Kusal Perera, who was the second highest run scorer, who contributed 29 against New Zealand, with Karunaratne
differ. This one again cut, but straight to the fielder, and who saves a certain boundary. Over ends at 37. Sri Lanka 37 without loss in 4 overs.
One station filled with full football fever.
Thinks about the shot, will go for it, and will plant an absolute cracker into the corner to put the icing on what is a very sweet tasting cake for Manchester City.
And you are just one click away.
Sergio Aguero. Oh, that's vicious! Unstoppable!
Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel.
4 overs gone. Sri Lanka are 37 without the loss of any wicket. No, this is not a T20 match going on. It's a 50-over game, but the treatment from the Sri Lankan batsman is that of a T20 game. Hassan has been taken to the cleaners. This is the Afghanistani Hassan that we are talking about. Hamid Hassan, for all those who have a bit of confusion. While Daulat Zadran, he has been good in his 2 overs, giving away just 6 runs, but has been completely overshadowed by Hamid Hassan's expensive overs.
Yes, I'm sure Hamid Hassan is not going to get another over in this spell, at least, if not in this match. But he was clearly out of his elements, bowling outside the off stump, then bowling totally on the legs, then outside the leg stump, giving away 5 wides in 1 ball. Definitely a really bad over for Afghanistan, but still early days in the match. They can still stage a comeback. All they need to do is try to restrict these 2 openers, as you rightly said, Sahil, but they don't seem to be in a mood. This one has been swung by Pereira, a typical Jayasuriya style of shot, and it may not go to the boundary. It does. The fielder there on the boundary makes a hash out of it, dived for it, but could not even put his hand on the ball.
Yes, poor fielding there, as it could have been restricted certainly, but a good boundary again for the Sri Lankan batsman. Kusal Pereira striking at the rate of more than 200, 23 for him now from 11 deliveries, while Karunaratne is just holding the fort with 11 from 15. What has happened for Sri Lanka is that they've gone on to 41 now. So, a very good start, going at a rate of more than 10, approximately of 10 runs per over, and if they continue to go this way, then they'll probably be scoring more than 350, 380.
And has it started to rain a bit? Because I saw a couple of umbrellas, and another bad ball. This was too high, too wide, and Shahzad left for it, but of course too much to ask from any wicketkeeper to catch that one. Gone for another boundary, a wide ball. So 5 runs this time conceded by the bowler we were praising, Daulat Zadran.
Yes, this is the second occasion that both the Afghanistani bowlers have given 5 wides on one occasion each, 10 as extras now, as Daulat Zadran, frustrated that he was taken to the cleaners in the previous delivery, tried to go one against the batsman, but then it just resulted in 5 extra runs. Mohammad Shahzad on that occasion couldn't do anything because it was so high, it was so out of his reach that he wasn't able to stop. The next delivery is a slower one and a quick single there for the Sri Lankan batsman, as there is more misfielding by Afghanistani players. So it's a disarray at the moment as to what is happening, and I think someone needs to take a timeout and get the group together.
I think timeout is very near, somewhere on the corner, because I can see umbrellas coming out in the crowd, people taking out their raincoats. Meanwhile, Afghan players seem to be playing football rather than cricket on the ground.
Well, it reminds me of the Lagan game that happened, when everyone was running for the ball and everyone was trying to prove a point, to prove their worth. But what is happening at the moment is that the team is just struggling. Sri Lanka, on the other hand, would want this kind of a start and have gotten this start with 47 on the board already in just 4.4 overs.
Yes, 2 more balls of misery for Afghanistan before the umpires might call a stop of play, because the drizzle seems to be getting lighter suddenly rather than heavier, although people in the crowd are using their umbrellas as well as whatever they can to avoid the rain.
Yes, avoid the rain, but what is happening at the moment is it's raining. The runs are raining for the Sri Lankan team, as it's yet another wide delivery that could have easily been clipped for 4 bye runs at least, but luckily for Afghanistan, the keeper was there to cover the traces. Otherwise, that would have resulted in another 5 extra runs.
Yes. Meanwhile, interesting exchange of cultures I could see there. Most people want to be on the camera. There was a particular Afghan fan who hid her face when the camera zoomed on her.
Well, that would probably because of the fact that the team is not doing well.
Maybe she didn't tell at home that she's going to watch the match.
There are many possible explanations to that, but given how Afghanistan is playing at the moment, every Afghani fan would want to hide their faces or would just want to disappear because it's again another wayward delivery.
Exactly what
on the leg stump.
You were claiming.
Something that I was telling in the previous occasion that if you just nicked it or got a thigh pad would have resulted in 4 byes on this occasion as well, as Sri Lanka scored 52 in 4.5 overs. So 50 up for Sri Lanka. What a start.
Within 5 overs, that is. This is typical of the Jayasuriya opening that he used to give and reminiscent of any T20 match. Sri Lanka couldn't have asked for a better start.
Yes, a brilliant start there for both the openers for Sri Lanka. New opening pair. In the previous game, they used Karunaratne and Lahiru Thirumane. This time they've gone ahead with Karunaratne, the captain, and Kusal Perera. And Kusal Perera has completely declared his presence as he scored 24 from 12 deliveries. Last ball was a good delivery. We'll get back to that as 5 overs have been completed. Sri Lanka are 52 without the loss of any wickets.
This is Sports Flashes Live.
The flying Finn from Helsinki is on his last lap, looking magnificently good for his 20th World Championship win.
Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel. Catch all the cricketing action and complete drama at one click of your phone.
He does that. Smack again onside, being peppered. Consecutive boundaries.
Don't miss. Download the app now. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel.
Welcome back as we are talking about the game between Afghanistan and Sri Lanka. 5 overs have been bowled. Sri Lanka are 52 without the loss of any wicket and a much needed change in the bowling attack. Mujibur Rahman has now been introduced as the pacers were taken to the cleaners. So a spin introduced and the first ball could have resulted in a wicket almost, as it was a full length over pitch delivery. Kusal Perera tried to sweep that one. There was Rashid Khan in the mid wicket area but just fell short of him. So a good change, you will read?
Yes, of course, definite. The change was on the cards. It had to change, but to bring Mujibur Rahman so early in the attack, that was definitely not the plan for Afghanistan. Mujib will bring a change not only in the bowling but also in the pace that is being generated. The batsmen will have to push and prod for the for their runs. But definitely Sri Lankan batsmen are capable of it. Definitely these two openers. But then Mujib must flight the ball a bit more. Shouldn't try to bowl in the slot. Should try to give it as much air as possible. Although he's not exactly doing that.
Yes, not plan A for Gulbuddin Naib, as the Afghanistan skipper would have hoped and prayed that both his seamers would have bowled much better as to what they have done. However, change in bowling attack, Mujibur Rahman has been introduced and they would be hoping that with this there is some sort of change in their fortunes as well, as they at the moment are conceding at the rate of 10 runs. This one, an over-pitch delivery on the offside which has been driven but no run on that occasion. Karunaratne on 12 from 20 deliveries, while Kusal Perera 26 from 14.
26 from 14. He's having a day and he should carry on from here and try to make a big score out of this opportunity that Afghanistan, two opening bowlers have offered him. This one was slightly fuller but a bit low. It's not really bouncing for Mujibur Rahman, although he's of a slower pace, but the ball is definitely not taking off the pitch at all when he's bowling. So this should work in his favor. He's already given 3 runs, only 3 runs compared to what the other bowlers have been doing. This one was on the leg side, a bad ball, and was deservedly punished through the mid-wicket region for another boundary, this time by Karunaratne, who moves on to 16. And the Afghanistan total after 6 overs, Sri Lanka total after 6 overs is 59 without loss.
This is Sports Flashes Live.
The flying Finn from Helsinki is on his last lap, looking magnificently good for his 20th World Championship win.
Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel.
6 overs have been completed and Sri Lanka are off to a brilliant start. 59 on the board without the loss of any wicket. Karunaratne on 16 from 22 with 3 boundaries, while Kusal Perera is on 26 from 14 with 4 boundaries. 3 bowlers introduced so far. Mujibur Rahman, the last one, who gave away 7 runs from his first over. Daulat Zadran giving away 17 from his 3 overs, while Hassan has been very expensive in his quota overs. Another bowling change. The most capped player for Afghanistan, Mohammad Nabi, has been introduced into the attack now.
Mohammad Nabi is into the attack, the most experienced Afghanistan bowler, whereas the most experienced Sri Lanka bowler, Malinga, he seems to be having a curse for Sri Lanka. There's a stat coming out which says Sri Lanka have lost all their last 21 completed ODIs. Malinga has featured in. So today must be the day when this has to turn around.
Well, definitely for Malinga's fortunes as well as Sri Lanka's fortune, he would want that his team gets at least 2 points on the board and breaks that jinx or curse. We've already seen Pakistan breaking their streak of losses yesterday after pulling off an upset against hosts England, and for Sri Lanka it would definitely do word of good if they are able to beat Afghanistan today.
Yes, Afghanistan have bowled a lot of wide balls also today, a total of 12 wide runs conceded in the early 5 overs, so they've got to stop the mess, and the best to do was Mujib and Mohammad Nabi, the 2 slower bowlers, have come on. Mujib only bowled 1 bad ball, but that made sure that he conceded 7 runs in his over, whereas Mohammad Nabi, of the 2 balls that he's bowled till now, has conceded only 1 run.
Well, you talk about the captain, Gulbadin Naib. He's a medium pacer himself. He should have taken the onus when his prime bowlers are being taken to the cleaners. Probably he would have gotten himself as the first change rather than continuing or carrying on with the 2 pacers, because they were proving to be expensive. But what he has relied on is the experience, is the tried and tested formula of going to the spinners, both Mujib Zadran as well as Mohammad Nabi, and probably is in search for a wicket. Much needed search for a wicket.
Yes, definitely. The captain should have led by example. However, there must be some reason why, in his mind at least, why he has chosen to have both the slower bowlers in the attack right now, when conditions seem to be quite in favor, and the pitch also seems to be quite in favor of the medium pacers.
Yes, the pitch is a medium pacer friendly track, but good over there by Nabi given how the circumstances have been. Sri Lanka have been cruising, 61 on the board already, 6.5 overs completed. Kusal Perera on 27, Karunaratne on 17, and Nabi runs up to bowl his last delivery, which is struck towards the short fine leg area for yet another single. 7 overs completed, 62 without the loss of any wicket, Sri Lanka.
You are listening to Sports Flashes Live. Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel.
Welcome back to Sports Flashes, the world's biggest sports radio channel. We are witnessing good innings by the Sri Lankan openers in their match against Afghanistan. This is the 7th match of the ICC Cricket World Cup 2019. The live broadcast is on Sports Flashes. Afghanistan won the toss and elected to field, although it's not gone according to plan for them. 7 overs bowled and Sri Lanka already on 62 without loss. This new over is being bowled by Mujibur Rahman, who has already bowled 1 over and given away 7 runs in that one. The first ball that he bowled has been a wide, so 8 runs are already in his account. Talking about Mujib, let's have a look at his bowling stats till date. Mujib, who's only 18 years old, has played in 32 ODIs and in these 32 ODIs has given away 1,073 runs and taken 52 wickets. 1 5 for 50 by him. That has been his best figures till now. And an average of 20.63. Economy rate has been quite impressive for him. 3.89 only. So if he has to bowl anywhere near his economy rate till date, then I think Afghanistan will be more than happy. So he comes in to bowl the second ball of his over, which has been hit high and hard by Kusal Perera. This is going long and wide, but still bounces within the fence and goes over for a boundary over deep mid wicket. So that's 4 runs to Perera. Sri Lanka move on to 67 without loss.
Well, what a good shot there on that occasion. Dancing down the track and clean as a whistle, as that results in yet another boundary. Positive intent, positive show, and positive results for Sri Lanka.
Yes, of course. The Sri Lankan fans are definitely happy with the way Kusal Perera is going, and Karunaratne is giving able support to him. Totally different from the nightmare they had against the New Zealand side.
Yes, totally different from the nightmare that they had. And you can see that within 7.2 overs, they've already got on to 67, as this one is a short delivery outside off stump and has been cut away for yet another boundary. With that, the score moves on to 75, as Kusal Perera is in magnificent form.
Well, Sahil, it's a bit too early to ask, but would you like to change your prediction?
Well, I would have backed Afghanistan, and I still want to see Afghanistan winning this one, but the way they have come out to the field today, the bowling changes, the bowling line and length, as well as the fielding, it doesn't seem to be the same Afghanistani team that it was in the warm-up games. Until and unless Rashid Khan comes, again, we talk about the game changer, it has to be Rashid Khan now. So if he comes in and he proves a point, takes a couple of wickets and dents the opposition, then it's something in favor of Afghanistan. Otherwise, at the moment, definitely it's Sri Lanka who are cruising. And this one's up in the air towards the fine leg area. Close that one. That could have also resulted in a wicket, but good fortune towards Sri Lanka. No wickets lost. 71 the score at the moment in 7.4 overs.
This shot, although was played on the leg side, but was reminding me of how England lost their 2 wickets to similarly played shots, obviously on the offside, but the ball did carry yesterday to the same distance to fielders, and that is where I guess England lost the match in the form of Joe Root losing his wicket as well as Joss Butler. Meanwhile, over completed, Sri Lanka are 71 without loss after 8 overs.
You are tuned into Sports Flashes Radio, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes, the official broadcast partner of BCCI. Sports Flashes, everything about sports.
And we are back with the game that is live on our hands. Afghanistan versus Sri Lanka. 8 overs have been bowled, and what a good start this by Sri Lanka. They've just completely applied the pressure on the bowling team, scoring 71 runs. And even if you talk about the bowlers, only Mohammad Nabi, who's bowled 1 over, given away just 2 runs, is the one that's the most economical, while the others, Zadran is also been decent, 3 overs 17, but Hamid Hassan, what has he done to his team? 2 overs 30 runs. So that is something that has proved very crucial for the Sri Lankan team as well as for the Afghanistani team, as Sri Lanka are now cruising and they can take their time to settle in and build a partnership further.
Yes, of course, a dream start for Sri Lanka in this match. 8 overs gone, 72. The 9th over has been started by Nabi, who bowled a fairly decent first over. Only 2 runs in such circumstances. 2 runs given in an over has its weight worth in gold. Nabi now about to begin. He's already begun. And that's a bad short ball which has been pulled, but thankfully there's a fielder who almost made a hash out of it. Missed it, but then picked it up again and has thrown it back to the wicketkeeper. Just 1 run conceded of this ball. Nabi and Mujibur Rahman are bowling in tandem, and they have not just the bowling actions are different, but their experience and age is totally different. Nabi is 34, whereas the other bowler is hardly 18.
Yes, the age difference, and what needs to be highlighted is the line and the length of the bowlers. Both these bowlers, in fact all the Afghani bowlers, have strained on the leg side and have bowled more towards the middle stump as well as the leg side, as I mentioned, rather than bowling a line and a channel towards the off stump. And because of that, what has happened is that for both the Sri Lankan batsmen, it is easier to clip all the balls onto the hips and score runs on the leg side. So if they are able to bowl the same line or on a different length next to the off stump, it would be much better. Like on that occasion, it is a flighted delivery on the off stump and it caught almost the attention of Karunaratne, who just played it straight down the ground, and had that been a leading edge, would have again been a wicket. Much better there from Nabi on that occasion.
Yes, exactly. If the slower bowlers are bowling, they need to flight the ball, unlike the pacers, and this one has been clipped off the legs towards long on, and the batsmen have walked across for a single. And Sri Lanka score has moved on to 76 without loss. One ball yet to be bowled in this over. Fairly decent second over too by Nabi, although this time he's straight down the leg side a bit.
Yes, again, as we were mentioning earlier, that he's stuck. The last delivery has been bowled. Meanwhile, it was again a good delivery. Apart from bowling the deliveries on the leg stump, this one again on the off stump. 9 overs have been completed. Sri Lanka are 76 without the loss of any wicket.
You are listening to Sports Flashes Live.
Dhoni finishes off in style. A magnificent strike into the crowd. India lift the World Cup. Moves it back. Here's Ronaldo for the hat-trick. And Cristiano Ronaldo does it again.
Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel. Catch all the cricketing action and complete drama at one click of your phone.
He does that. Smack again onside being peppered. Consecutive boundaries.
Don't miss. Download the app now. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel.
9 overs have been bowled. Sri Lanka are 76 without the loss of any wicket. Karunaratne, the skipper, leading from front with 21 runs on the board from 28 deliveries and 3 boundaries in that total, while Kusal Perera, who has been introduced as an opener in the second game, as Lahiru Thirumane was the opener in the first game against New Zealand, has been in exceptional form. 36 for him from 26 deliveries with 6 boundaries so far, as Mujibur Rahman commences his third over. In the first 2 overs that he bowled, he gave away 17 runs, and it's just the third over where he would want to at least take a break or score, put a tap on the scoring rate, which has been more than 9 runs per over. The first delivery has been played down the ground for another run, and the second delivery has also been played for another run. So 2 runs from the first 2 deliveries that he has bowled. The score for Sri Lanka moves on to 78 without the loss of any wicket in 9.2 overs. And with that single, now Karunaratne is on 22 while Perera is on 37.
Yes, of course. Perera moves on to 37. Karunaratne is on 22. Mujibur Rahman again bowling fairly decent. This one outside the off stump, reverse swept, but straight to the fielder. The batsman tried to go in across for a single, but changed their minds finally.
Yes, a good shot there, given the circumstances that all the Afghani bowlers have been bowling on the middle stump and have been wavered towards the leg stump. So it gets ruled out in a way that you won't be adjudged leg before the wicket. So a risk taken there, didn't come worthy there, but a risk worthwhile taking, as all the Afghani bowlers have strayed in their line and length. In case the same delivery is bowled on the stumps, more towards the off-stump area, then it could prove a wicket-taking delivery. But at the moment, it's just that they have been bowling consistently towards the middle and the leg stump, and because of that, the scoreboard is a reflection of what they have done. 79 now the score. 9.5 overs have been bowled. Perera on 37 from 27 deliveries, and Karunaratne on 23 from 32.
Yes, Perera is on 37, Karunaratne on 23, Sri Lanka 79 without loss. The last ball of the 10th over coming up. Run rate is more than 8, but definitely lower than it was after 5 overs. Last ball completed, 10 overs gone, 79 without loss.
One station filled with full football fever.
Thinks about the shot, will go for it, and will plant an absolute cracker into the corner to put the icing on what is a very sweet tasting cake for Manchester City.
And you are just one click away.
Sergio Aguero. Oh, that's vicious! Unstoppable!
Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel.
10 overs have been completed. Sri Lanka are 79 without the loss of any wicket, and yet another bowling change. The captain finally introducing himself into the attack. Gulbadin Naib is now into the attack, and much needed change because it's a pitch that assists the medium pacers, and if you are a medium pacer, you would want to introduce yourself much ahead of the spinners that you did in the earlier overs.
I think the captain Naib had lost the plot for a moment before he heard you talking about it.
Well,
Because that would have been the right strategy. Pacer replacing a pacer when the conditions are overcast.
yes, the conditions are overcast, and the turf, if you look at the turf, it's a green pitch. So there is assistance for the medium pacers, but what will happen if you introduce the spinners with a new ball? So now let's see whether he can change the fortunes of Afghanistan, as Karunaratne deflects that one on the leg side and takes strolls, I would say, for yet another single. The score now moves on to 80. 10.1 overs have been bowled. And if you talk about Afghanistan and the bowling there, yes, I touted them to be the winners in this game, and I'm still backing them. Even if Sri Lanka is able to post a total of 250, 260, I would back Afghanistan to chase this because of the firepower that they possess in their batting lineup. But for that to happen, the Afghanistan bowlers first need to restrict the batsmen, and in order to get a wicket, it has to be either Gulbadin Naib or Rashid Khan. Still no introduction of Rashid Khan. It's fairly earlier because 10 overs have been bowled. But when you need a wicket and the partnership is doing so well, you would want to take a risk for an over or a two.
Yes, of course. Conventionally speaking, Afghanistan is good at chasing, but I don't know if they can chase anything in excess of 250 runs on this pitch. So ideally they would have should have tried to restrict Sri Lanka to around 250. But with the way Sri Lanka is going right now, I do not see that happening. I think Sri Lanka might even score in excess of 300 today.
Well, certainly 300 seems to be on the cards at the moment, as both the openers have gotten off to a decent start, and Afghanistan have been wicketless at the moment. 10.3 overs have been bowled. Sri Lanka are 81 without the loss of any wickets. Just 2 runs given away from the first 3 deliveries that he's bowled, and he seems to have gotten an idea, a measure of what the pitch is doing and what are the line and lengths that need to be bowled, whereas the other Afghanistani bowlers were struggling with the line and length.
Yes, they were, and he's bowled fairly decently. I could say that the first 3 balls are warm-up balls for him, but he's pitching them in the right position. This one was played towards the bowler. It was in the air for a fair while, but Naib was clearly not up to the task. Did not dive, but could not reach the ball, and it has sped away to the boundary for an easy single.
Yes, that could have been a cotton ball chance. Full length dive there by the captain of Afghanistan there, but it just eluded him from a few centimeters or a few meters more and could have resulted in one more wicket. First wicket for Afghanistan. We've been talking about the first wicket. We don't really know when the first wicket is going to come, but what is coming at the moment is runs in plenty for the Sri Lankan team, as this one's flicked towards the leg side for yet another single. Score now moves on to 82. 10.5 overs have been bowled. Pereira on 38, while Karunaratne is on 25.
Yes, they say there's an old saying that form is temporary, class is permanent, and Sri Lanka are proving today that maybe they are not in the best of forms for the past couple of years, not doing really well. But when it comes to their class, they are definitely a class above a team which has just started cricket, which is Afghanistan. This one shot pulled towards deep mid wicket, gets an easy single. The over completes. 11 overs gone, 83 without loss.
You are tuned into Sports Flashes Radio.
Sahil.
Yes, 131 already on the board. Just one wicket lost in the form of the Sri Lankan skipper Dimuth Karunaratne. 18 overs have been bowled, and Hamid Hassan, who conceded 30 runs from his 2 overs, is now back into the attack. So definitely he would want to change his fortunes as well as Afghanistan's fortunes, as the team is struggling at the moment in order to contain the Sri Lankan opposition, who's already posted 131 on the board.
Yes, and I can see a lot of Sri Lankan flags are flying. Is that the reason that Hamid is going to bowl? He bowls on the leg stump, flicks it towards the deep fine leg region, has been fielded, takes a single. Thiramanne moves on to 17, Kusal Perera on 61 on strike now.
Well, the arm headband as well as the war paints need to come of some use, because as of now they've just given 31 runs in 2.1 overs. He was the same bowler in the 2015 edition who picked up 3 wickets against Sri Lanka, and Afghanistan lost that match just by 3 runs. So that game and this game, while I was expecting it would be much favored towards the Afghanistani team, seems completely opposite at the moment.
It seems that Sri Lanka came into the match with a plan that they were being called underdogs by a lot of people, so they had to prove a point. The openers did not have a jittery start because Afghanistan bowlers, the top 2 bowlers, were wayward to begin with, and that gave Sri Lankan batsmen an opportunity, and which they have really cashed upon.
Yes, both the Sri Lankan batsmen, both the openers, Karunaratne and Perera, built a strong foundation for the team, and this is what they are capitalizing at the moment. Meanwhile, a good delivery there by Hassan. Thirimanne tried to kite that one towards the third man area, but just edged past his bat, and had that deflected somehow, could have been a wicket. We are talking about how Afghanistan can get a wicket. It's just desperate case, because right now it's the line and length that has faltered the most.
Yes, of course, it was a good ball, but unfortunately for Hamid Hassan, it did not come close to the edge. Next ball, again outside the off stump, guided towards deep third man, and strolls across for a single. Thiramanne is giving able support right now to Kusal Perera, who is quickly building on 62 at the moment, moving on towards his century.
Yes, Thirimanne is on 18 at the moment from 23 deliveries, while Perera is on 62 from 47. Sri Lanka are going at a rate of 7.18 as they have scored 134 in just 18.4 overs. This is a full length delivery that's been played upishly towards the third man area. Another single there, and yet another misfield. Luckily, thankfully for Afghanistan, it didn't result in yet another run, but they've already leaked more than 30 or 40 runs, and this is no exaggeration, by misfields and extras.
Yes, of course they have, and the ball seems to be coming into their hands and not sticking. All the Afghan fielders simultaneously seem to be having a butterfingers. The good thing is that when the throws come, they are being collected, and less overthrows than could have been the result with this kind of wayward fielding.
Well, exactly, and for Sri Lanka's point of view, everything is an added bonus. They've already gotten so many extras, and the runs from the bat have also started coming. Thirimanne on 18 will face the last delivery, as it's a full-length delivery that's been played fine towards the third man area. Good fielding on that occasion, rare good fielding I would say, as Nabi does the cleaning up. 19 overs have been bowled, Sri Lanka 136 for 1.
One station filled with full football fever.
Thinks about the shot, will go for it, and will plant an absolute cracker into the corner to put the icing on what is a very sweet tasting cake for Manchester City.
And you are just one click away.
Sergio Aguero. Oh, that's vicious! Unstoppable!
Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel. You are listening to Sports Flashes live.
Tony finishes off in style. A magnificent strike into the crowd. India lift the World Cup. Pulls it back. Here's Ronaldo for the hat-trick. And Cristiano Ronaldo does it again.
Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel.
0.1 overs, 1 overs ball, and Thiramanne is scampering across for 2 runs here. A quick 21 is his score now of 25 balls, and such things happen in the world of cricket, that Afghanistan, which was being considered the favorite, are the underdog suddenly.
Yes, absolutely. Afghanistan were touted in this game as favourites. I can see Shahzad in the frame, and Shahzad at the moment, we're referring to Shahzad because RJ Sid here is a big fan of Ahmed Shahzad.
Yes, absolutely.
Mohammad Shahzad.
I just love his bulk, the way he carries himself in the world of cricket where everybody is focusing so much on fitness, he's focusing on food.
Yes, he's focusing on food. This one's a close call. This should be referred if it's not given. It hasn't been given yet, and all eyes on Rashid Khan and the skipper Gulbadin Naib while the two discuss whether they want to take this up to the third umpire or not. Well, it seems like they're not reviewing this one. Rashid Khan seemed convinced, but it certainly is missing the stump right now in the replays that we have seen right now.
Yeah, it was struck right outside the off stump, but a good ball nevertheless. Quick pace generated, good spin by Rashid Khan, and the next ball also is good. Rashid Khan has to be the key. He has to take a couple of wickets, at least that of Pereira or Thiramanne. This partnership, if it is to be broken, then Rashid Khan can do it.
Well, absolutely. We discussed in the pre-match that Rashid Khan is the game changer. He is exceptional with his fielding, his batting and bowling. A rare occasion again where a bowler has actually dove and stopped the ball and saved a few runs for his team, because Afghanistan at the moment are crumbling apart. They're not playing as a team. Individual performances will help you to the point, but then you have to come good as a team, and that's what is lacking for Afghanistan, as they're just misfielding and giving away extras. Rashid Khan trying his level best to contain as far as he can, as the last delivery is played towards the leg side for a single. 20 overs have been completed. Sri Lanka 139 for 1.
You are tuned into Sports Flashes Radio, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes, the official broadcast partner of BCCI. Sports Flashes, everything about sports. This is Sports Flashes Live. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes, everything about sports.
Welcome back. Sri Lanka 139 for 1 after 20 overs that have been completed. The 21st over has begun as Hamid Hassan, who gave away 30 runs in his first 2 overs and then 5 runs in his third over, begins his fourth over. His figures at the moment 37 in 3.1 overs, as Thiramanne is on 24 from 31, Kusal Pereira 63 from 48. Wali is in the comm box with me. Before I get back to you, Wali, we'll just talk about Sri Lanka as how they have performed in this game as compared to the last game. The last game against New Zealand, around 156, they were bundled out completely. It was a big defeat, 10-wicket defeat, because they were not even able to break through the opening partnership of the New Zealand openers. This game, however, 142 already, 20.2 overs. Much better performance against a different opposition, of course.
Well, you'll have to say it's an overwhelming experience so far for Sri Lanka at the moment.
आप कैसे मैं काफी बढ़िया यार आप कैसे बताओ यार मुझे
well you obviously should give
भाई मैं कल से था याद है हाँ भाई बजट भाई जरूर याद है शिमा वीडियो गेमिंग वर्ल्ड
the display in the field
और यार मुकेश राज out
like I said schoolboy stuff even when it comes to bowling some no balls wide deliveries already and what a beautiful delivery that was something against the run of play you'll have to say but like I said, it's been that sort of a day for Afghanistan.
Nice commentary. Thank you very much,
today evening. And, and for Sri Lanka, the good thing is that the batting, I think in this World Cup, their batting is going to be their strength because they have some positive batsmen in their match. They think that
hello yaar, what is the channel name?
This bowling field. Like I said, schoolboy stuff. Even bowling some no balls, wide
ये गेम फोन पे नहीं यार ये गेम फोन पे नहीं है this is the game I'm playing on PC
so but
चलो भाई कम लेटर नो प्रॉब्लम ब्रदर नाइस कमेंट थैंक यू वेरी मच भाई ये पीसी पे चल रहा है गाइस आप सभी लोग को बता देता हूं ये गेम पीसी पे चल रहा है दिस गेम इज नॉट रनिंग ऑन अ मोबाइल ये मोबाइल पे नहीं चल रहा है गेम बॉलिंग लाइनअप तो मैं पीसी पे खेल रहा हूं आप ये देख रहे हो अगर आपको लगता है कि मोबाइल पे चल रहा है तो नॉट इन मोबाइल आप नीचे भी आप वेलकम बैक जैसा नाम भाई ये विराट कोहली का नाम मेरे भाई नहीं यार ये एक रियल मैच I'm playing a real match on a PC right now.
Mystery bowlers.
Give me a quick second, guys.
You can forget Ajanta Mendes.
second de dena.
So there were mystery
I'll just
bowlers
go on
that
a
they
mute right now.
had in their ranks in the
Ek
past.
second, guys, ek
and this
second.
time around, if you have to look at the bowlers, it's just
That was
Lakmal,
headed to the boundary.
Isuru Udana,
One run
and
there.
then you just have to get back to Lasith Malinga. So you've gone a decade back in order to get a pacer who can help you win the World Cup.
Absolutely, and that has been the problem. But we'll get back to
Gets
that
onto the front
right now
foot
with
for that
144
square
one after
drive.
20
He's found the gap and got 4.
You are tuned into Sports Flashes Radio, world's biggest sports radio channel.
He just can't afford to bowl any more like that last one.
The official broadcast partner of BCCI. Sports Flashes, everything about sports.
Great fielding there.
21
on
overs have been
target
completed.
despite
Sri
the
Lanka are
distance.
144 for 1. Afghanistan is in a
move on
desperate
now
attempt,
to
desperate search for wickets as they are
168.
still eluded by the fact that their bowlers haven't been consistent with their line and length. Right now, there's a change in bowling attack. Hamid Hassan is back for his 5th over. 40 runs he's conceded. Hamid Hassan
Ashok
bowled
World,
the
thank you for the
last
sub,
over.
yeah. Thank you for the
There
sub,
will be
thank you
a
for joining.
change in the
Drawn
bowling
Broadband hai kya?
attack
Nahi hai.
now.
Drawn Broadband nahi hai mere bhai.
40 in his
Good use of
score.
the slower
Now
ball.
it's just gonna be Mohammad Nabi.
I play only
Mohammad Nabi
PS4
who's gonna
games.
bowl
Good to
his
know yaar,
fifth
giving
over.
world.
He's
good
the
to know,
only
welcome to stream.
successful bowler for Afghanistan right now. 13 conceded, 1 wicket taken.
Aryan Duka kya Aryan
And,
bhai?
it's a 144.
पे गाइज 42,000 के तो जिन्होंने भी सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है ठोक दिया सब्सक्राइब बटन को
He lets that go through to the keeper.
गेम खेली भाई ऑसम थैंक यू वेरी मच भाई नाम तो बता दे गेम का नाम विजार्ड यंगस्टर गेम का नाम है एशेस क्रिकेट जस्ट टाइप गेम अगर आप चैट नहीं पढ़ते हो नाइट बोर्ड का चैट पढ़ लिया करो यार गेम नेम इज एशेस क्रिकेट इंग्लिश में लिखा आता है वहाँ पे सारी भाई लैपटॉप में चलेगा डिपेंड करता है यार किस तरह का लैपटॉप है आपका इट डिपेंड्स व्हाट काइंड ऑफ लैपटॉप डू यू हैव तो उस पर डिपेंड करेगा निर्भर करेगा कि ये गेम चलेगा कि नहीं आपके लैपटॉप में हाउ डू यू स्ट्रीम फ्रॉम Xbox ऑन यूट्यूब Xbox पे तो नहीं कर रहा हूँ आई एम डूइंग दिस ऑन माई PC तो ये गेम आप लोग दे रहे हो ये PC पे चल रहा है नो वन रिप्लाइंग आई एम लिविंग चैट एज इफ रोबोट्स जावेद इकबाल सॉरी भाई अगर कुछ ऐप मिस कर दिया मैंने गेम लिंक दे दो ब्रो सोनू कुमार गेम का लिंक चाहिए आप बस गेम टाइप कर दो आपको गेम का लिंक मिल जाएगा नाइट बोर्ड देता है गेम का लिंक चैट
Sports Flashes, the official broadcast partner of BCCI. Sports Flashes, everything about sports.
It's a 152 for 5 now after 24 overs. It will be Hamid Hassan to bowl his 6th over. He was expensive in his first spell, but he's got a wicket in the previous over, that too of Dhananjay De Silva.
Sports Flashes, the official broadcast partner of BCCI. Sports Flashes, everything about sports.
This time he's coming around the wicket is Hamid Hassan, and a short delivery ball to Kusal Perera. This is where things get interesting for Kusal
Hamid
Perera,
Hassan
I think
bowled his 6th over. He was expensive in his first spell, but he's got a wicket in the previous over, that too of Dhananjay De Silva.
Sports to play the anchor role along with Thisara Perera. Because let's be honest, Sri Lanka have got the runs on the board according to the situation. 24 overs, 152 isn't bad. If they continue to bat for the next 25 overs as well, they will score a good total. But the question is if they have the temperament to do so. Meanwhile, it doesn't seem the case, but Kusal Perera as well as Thisara Perera have a massive role ahead of themselves.
Very important point made there by you, Wali. The temperament, the factor that is going to be essential in this game is the temperament. Both these batsmen are aggressive in nature. They're known for their dominant style of play. And when it comes to staying at the crease and building a partnership, that is definitely not their forte. While Kusal Perera has been at the crease for 10 overs now, he's played 61 deliveries himself and scored 70. Thisara Perera is the batsman that I'm worried about because he has a knack of going at the bowlers and in the process losing his wicket. If that happens, very well for Afghanistan, but for Sri Lanka, this will be a catastrophe.
Absolutely, and you can see 4 wickets fell in a span of just 2 overs, and an interesting tweet over here saying that for any Sri Lankan fan who went for a break and came back might have just had a heart attack right now, and I'm sure that they must be in utter disarray at the moment with the things that have gone on now, because I think because Mohammad Nabi bowls a short spell, he's an off spinner, so someone must have gone to the washroom for a break. They came back and now all of a sudden 5 wickets are down when it was just 1. So well, things bleak at the moment for Sri Lanka. They need to rebuild once again, back to square one. It's 153 for 5, and you'll have to say that the good start that was established by the skipper Karunaratne and Kusal Perera has all been washed down the drain.
Definitely, a very good start is what the Sri Lankan team had, and a very good middle period is what is going on at the moment for the Afghanistan opposition, as they have picked up 4 wickets, 4 important wickets. The entire middle order for Sri Lanka has collapsed yet again, second time consecutively, and what needs to be taken into consideration is that only one frontline batsman is out at the middle in the form of Kusal Perera. Meanwhile, a run-out chance there, and had the Afghanistan fielding been a tad better, there would have been 20 less runs and 2 more wickets on the board.
Wow, if that had hit the stumps, then I think Kusal Perera, in fact, Kusal Perera would have had to walk back towards the pavilion, but he had to aim at one stump, so it was always going to be difficult. And yes, he was well short of the crease, so that could have been another decisive moment for Afghanistan. But well, they are already on top of Sri Lanka, so they need to be a little patient as well. Hassan bowling some good deliveries. This time it's been cut away by Kusal Perera. There has to be a fielder at the deep, so 1 run taken on the final delivery. It's now 155 for 5 after 25 overs.
This is Sports Flashes Live.
The flying Finn from Helsinki is on his last lap, looking magnificently good for his 20th World Championship win.
Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel. You are listening to Sports Flashes Live.
Finishes off in style. A magnificent strike into the crowd. India lift the World Cup. Pulls it back. Here's Ronaldo for the hat-trick. And Cristiano Ronaldo does it again.
Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel.
Welcome back. We have reached the halfway mark. Sri Lanka are struggling at the moment. 155 for 5 at the end of 25 overs. Change in commentary box. Joining me now, I am Sahil Magu. With me now is RJ Sid. Sid, we took a 10-minute break. What has happened in those 10 minutes? Do you want to explain?
Change in the commentary box, change in the fortunes of the match for Afghanistan. They are literally back in the match. 5 wickets have been lost. The first one was lost, but then in between Nabi just did something magical.
Yes, it was a magical spell there by Mohammad Nabi as he picked up 3 wickets in 1 over, and then Hamid Hassan picking up the 4th wicket. The Sri Lankan middle order, Angelo, Mathews, Dhananjay De Silva, Kusal Perera, Kusal Mendes. Between these 3, just 2 runs scored.
Yes, just 2 runs scored, and as far as Hamid Hassan is concerned, this was a very good cut drive played towards the deep cover boundary where it's fielded, then misfielded, then fielded back. In the meanwhile, Kusal Perera takes 2 more runs. While wickets were tumbling at the other end, Kusal Perera has gone from 62 to 74, a very painful knock in between, but the good thing is he stayed at the crease.
Yes, indeed. The good thing for Sri Lanka and Kusal Perera is that he is getting some match practice, and from their point of view, they would want Perera to continue at least for another 10 overs so that some sort of platform is set for the batsmen to come in after these 2.
Yes, success sometimes rubs from one person to another. Happened in the case of Hamid Hassan. He was not amongst the wicket, not even bowling well, but when Nabi started taking wickets, it reflected upon him, and he bowled a peach of a delivery and got the wicket of, yes, it was Dhananjay De Silva.
Yes, Dhananjay De Silva was dismissed for yet another duck. Before him, it was Angelo Mathews who was also dismissed for a duck. So 2 ducks in the middle order that we were referring to within a span of 4 deliveries. Not a lot of batting to follow up, as there is the bowlers, the bowling all-rounders to follow. Isru Udana, Nuwan Pradeep, Suranga Lakmal and Lasith Malinga. This is pretty much the last recognized pair, and what has happened in between is that it has been referred to the 3rd umpire. There was miscommunication between the 2 batsmen, and it seems like Afghanistan has picked up the 6th wicket.
Yes, the batsmen do not seem to be in a positive mood at all, whereas the Afghan fielders are quite positive about it. Thisara Perera was at the strike. He hit it, and did he run for a single, or was it Kusal Perera who is in trouble?
Well, I think it's Thisara Perera who is struggling at the moment, and yes, definitely it is. Thisara Perera is out. What fielding there. We've been talking about Afghanistan's fielding, that they haven't been up to the mark, but on this occasion it has been phenomenal, as it is OUT out. Yet another dismissal for Afghanistan, and Sri Lanka are struggling.
Yes, Sri Lanka are struggling. Kusal Perera, I feel for him. He might just be stranded at the other end, just like Karunaratne ran out of partners in the previous match.
Indeed. We'll take a short break as the score is 159 for 6.
One station filled with full football fever.
Thinks about the shot, will go for it, and will plant an absolute cracker into the corner to put the icing on what is a very sweet tasting cake for Manchester City.
And you are just one click away.
Sergio Aguero. Vicious! Unstoppable!
Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes. This is Sports Flashes live.
The flying Finn from Helsinki is on his last lap, looking magnificently good for his 20th World Championship win.
Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes.
We were talking about the batsmen to come, and I was referring that they are bowling all-rounders, and the start has begun. Isuru Udana is now at the crease as Sri Lanka are 159 for 6. They were bowled out for 156 runs against New Zealand. They started off brilliantly. They were cruising at 144 for 1. but now they are at 159 for 6. So you can imagine 15 odd runs and 5 wickets. Wow, that's a disaster.
Yes, a disaster. And Uduna, although 31 years of age, has only featured in 7 one-day international where he's batted for 5 times. Once he's remained not out, 125 runs, 78 is his highest. A decent average of 31.25, but hardly any matches behind him. So at best, what he can do is gain some experience here, probably give a decent stand along with the man in form, the man of the moment, Kusal Perera, help him, and meanwhile Sri Lanka can just expect Perera to keep going the way he is, and maybe if he has to even slow down a bit, because almost half the overs are left and hardly 4 wickets. So Sri Lanka should look to bat the 50 overs out from here rather than do anything fancy.
That's the bare minimum. If you're not able to bat 50 overs after such a great start, it will be very disappointing for both the openers and the captain himself, because he would expect some sort of stability, some sort of sustenance, some sort of support from the batsmen who are so experienced, who have been playing for the Sri Lankan cricket team time and again. Kusal Mendes, Angelo Mathews, Dhananjay De Silva, all of those veterans, one would say, have failed, and the one to follow after them was Thisara Perera. As Isuru Udana, who has played 2 deliveries at the moment, is yet to get off the mark. But Sri Lanka, what do we talk about this team? How do we talk about this team as to if they want to play in a competition like the World Cup? And this is Afghanistan we are talking about. Against New Zealand, they were bundled out for 156. And if this is how they're going to play, where do you see their future going, Sid?
Well, I do not see a good future for Sri Lanka as far as the team is concerned, as far as cricket is concerned, because even if we look at the last dismissal of Thisara Perera, there was no chance of a run there. Even if there was, there was no need for the same, because they had already lost a lot of wickets. Half the team had been bundled. All they should have been looking at as, building an innings from there. Thisara Perera, I don't know, maybe Sri Lanka themselves in their domestic league are playing too much T20 cricket.
Yes, it's a no-brainer that when you have lost a wicket immediately, you would want to first take your time, settle in, and then get on with the running. It's not a format where you have to go from the beginning. It's not 20 overs, it's not 10 overs, but I don't know what kind of cricket they have been playing, because in 50-over cricket, even if you're playing test matches, you need some time. You need to get your eyes set before you start playing those expansive drives or those shots. But here, it's even when they're trying to defend, it's something with their basics, because even when they're trying to defend, they're nicking the ball, they're edging the ball and being dismissed, caught keeper, caught slip. So it's definitely their technique that needs to be worked on, and the coaching staff need to get the players, get the boys together, have a one-on-one discussion and tell them where they're faltering with their techniques.
Yes, of course. Meanwhile, the good news is that 3 balls have been faced by Isuru Udana, and he looks quite compact. He doesn't look in any sort of trouble, at least for now. And Kusal Perera, although I was thinking he will try to take the bulk of the strike, has shown confidence in Udana. And as I speak, Udana goes for a fancy drive and does not time the ball. I do not see any reason why, with 140 balls still left in the match, in the inning, why is Udana trying to hoik it over some part of the field.
Well, you were just now mentioning that he seems to be settled and calm and composed, but it is to do with their mentality. Wali and I were discussing the fact that the temperament plays an important role, and something that we've seen time and again. This one, meanwhile, has been edged. It's wide. So no bat involved, luckily. But yet again, 5 more wides. So Afghanistan trying to give opportunities to Sri Lanka. Get on some scores so that we can chase down, because you're not able to get it yourself.
Hamid Hassan again back to where he left in his initial spell, bowling wayward bouncers, and that one again going for a huge wide, and Shehzad was totally turtle turned. His legs were up in the air and body flat on the ground.
Well, before you get back to Mohammad Shehzad, he has been exceptional in the last over. It was because of Shehzad that run out came into effect, so you cannot completely blame him. Yes, he's been struggling with the keeping.
Completed that run out.
Yes, he completed that run out. He has been struggling with his weight issues and all, but I think he's doing a good job right now for Afghanistan, as well as with his bat, with the gloves as well.
Yes, of course. Last ball of the over coming up on strike is Kusal Perera, the more important batsman. and he's on 75, more than 100 strike rate, but that is not what is needed from Sri Lanka's perspective anymore in this match. What they need is that Kusal Perera, along with the tail as I may call it, bats out the 50 overs somehow.
Yes, 50 overs, playing the 50 overs is very important, as that delivery just nips past the batsman. Udana was Kusal Perera, the settled batsman, troubling the settled batsman. So a good delivery, but that concludes the over. 166 for 6 after 27.
You are listening to Sports Flashes Live. Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel.
27 overs completed, 166 for 6, inching towards the 200 mark. For Sri Lanka, it would be a big sigh of relief if they get 200 in this tournament, as they struggled to get 150 up in the last game. Meanwhile, this has been played uppishly, Udana, and that's a 6. So the approach is very clear. No matter how many wickets we lose, we'll still be attacking on the front foot, as this time it has, luckily for Sri Lanka, worked in their favour.
Yes, it's a 6 nevertheless. However, I am not too happy with Udana's approach. He should be trying to give more and more strike and stay at the crease as long as possible, along with the man in form Kusal Perera. It was a loose ball, I agree, but then at this stage, trying to go over the top, it just might have taken an edge. It could have slipped past his bat. Anything could have happened, but then I guess that's how Sri Lanka is determined to play their cricket. No matter what happens, we will go for our shots and see how much we can get. I don't see anything in less than 250 being a competitive total on this pitch.
Well, absolutely. Even if you look at the score at the moment, 173, and you look at Afghanistan's contribution after Kusal Perera, they will be the second highest in terms of the extras that they have given. It's 31. So indeed, it's the second highest. I just thought I will refer it, but it is
I
actually...
thought you looked at the scoreboard.
Yeah, no, it's actually the second highest, because Dimut Karunaratne scored 30, Thirumane scored 25, and now the extras given by Afghanistan are the highest, second highest, 31. So it's just been Kusal Perera and Afghanistan contributing for Sri Lanka, because with the bat, they just have a clear approach that we'll go for the bowlers. If it comes our way, good enough. If it doesn't, we are happy with the low score.
Yes, meanwhile, Nabi, who's into his 7th over, is it? 8th over now. He is bowling really well, except in this over, he's straying a bit on the leg side. This was on the middle stump. Stifled appeal. Shahzad is going on and on. Nabi doesn't seem interested, nor does the captain or any other player. They all have smiles on their faces. Over, in meanwhile, has been completed, and Sri Lanka are 173 for 6.
One station filled with full football fever.
Thinks about the shot, will go for it, and will plant an absolute cracker into the corner to put the icing on what is a very sweet tasting cake for Manchester City.
And you are just one click away.
Sergio Aguero. Oh, that's vicious! Unstoppable!
Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes.
Welcome back to Sports Flashes. The match between Sri Lanka and Afghanistan is on. Number 7 match of the 2019 Cricket World Cup. And in the studio, a man who's seen all the World Cups. All the World Cups, sir?
I was alive for most of them.
Yes, of course. Right from 1975-79, witnessed on radio. 83, you saw it live?
I did.
And the name is Anant. Hello.
Thank you very much, Sid. Nice to have you alongside here in the studios. This is my first stint as an English commentator. Never done it in the past. This is my first foray. And it's nice to see Sri Lanka doing so... I'm sorry, my first language is Hindi.
Yes, of course. So is ours.
So, it's nice to see Afghanistan doing so well, and but I feel very sad The Sri Lanka is struggling. A team that used to boast of batsmen like Roy Dice, Tulip Mendes, Arjuna Ratlunga, Arvinder De Silva, Sangakkara. They just cannot put back to ball. And there've been collapses galore. In the last match, they were bundled out for 136, and that was a pity. 136, 34, whatever. 136. They were bundled out for 136 in the last match. And they don't seem to be learning anything from their past mistakes. And that's the issue here.
Yes, of course. Along with Anant, I have done a couple of shows in which all the teams featuring in this World Cup have features. We've talked about all these teams. Talking about Sri Lanka, you talked about Roy Dice, Tulip Mendes. These were the players who were in the formative years of the Sri Lankan team. The team which was an associate country, quite the way Afghanistan was till recently. So you've seen the rise of Sri Lankan cricket till the time they became the world champions, and now today you are witnessing a fall of Sri Lankan cricket.
Absolutely, and this has been on for a while now. I remember since the last World Cup, since the departure of players like Dilshan, I have not seen any improvement in Sri Lankan cricket. In fact, this afternoon I was expecting a better show from Mathews, but Mathews just didn't come to the party, and that's the biggest pity. That's the biggest problem with Sri Lankan cricket. The senior players are just not there. I think Mathews could not open his account in the last match also, and it's a repeat of what he did last time. So this is the problem. Sri Lankan cricket needs their star batsmen, their experienced players to come to the party.
Right. Meanwhile, 29 overs completed. Rashid Khan ends its fourth over. Sri Lanka are 175 for the loss of 6 wickets.
You are tuned into Sports Flashes Radio, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes, the official broadcast partner of BCCI. Sports Flashes, everything about sports.
Once again, we are back with live action from the stadium. Afghanistan versus Sri Lanka, match number 7 of the ICC Cricket World Cup 2019, which is being played in Cardiff at the Sophia Gardens. Sri Lanka batting first, had a good start but somehow crumbled and now are struggling at 175 for 6 after 29 overs. The man of the moment is Mohammad Nabi, who is in his 9th over already taken 4 wickets for 28 runs. Along with me in the studio is Anant.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to describe the match and have a little chit chat with you regarding the cricket that we sing these days. So, Sid, we've seen batsmen dominate, but this time we've seen the ball dominate. Last match rather, the batsmen dominated. And this time we're seeing the bowlers dominate. So this is the trend of this World Cup. In one match we've seen players getting out for 105 runs. And that's what happened to Pakistan. And in the next match they recovered. At one point in time I was wondering who will be the batsmen who will be the flag bearers of Pakistan cricket. But lo and behold, last time we saw quite a few batsmen coming to the party. Mohammad Hafiz led the way. Babar Azam was promising. So was the captain, Sarfaraz. This has not translated, this has not inspired the Sri Lankan team. Sri Lanka was dismal in the last match. They're still very, very depressing in this one. I hope Sri Lanka cricket recovers very, very quickly.
Yes, we had hoped so when Sri Lanka began their innings today. Some people were rating them as underdogs in this match. However, Sri Lankan openers had other things in mind. Karunaratne along with Kusal Perera, they had a 92-run stand for the first wicket, and it was a dream opening because this was done in quick time. 13 overs is all it took. After that, they lost Karunaratne but did not lose way. Thiramanne was giving able support to Kusal Perera, but then he departed, and from there a mini collapse has happened where Kusal Mendes and then Angelo Mathews and Dhananjay De Silva lost their wickets, and finally Thisara Perera ran himself out all on his own, and this has put Sri Lanka in a spot of bother. After 30 overs, they are at 177 for 6.
You are listening to Sports Flashes Live.
Dhoni finishes off in style. A magnificent strike into the crowd. India lift the World Cup. Pulls it back. Here's Ronaldo for the hat-trick. And Cristiano Ronaldo does it again.
Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel.
We are back with live action. Rashid Khan into his fifth over. He's already bowled two balls in this over. 177 for 6 is Sri Lanka's score. And Udana is batting on 10. Looks quite comfortable. He's gone for a couple of shots. Whereas Kusal Perera is on 77. He's slowed down, and this makes sense because Kusal Perera knows that he has to be at the crease when the 50 overs have been completed. And that is why he has slowed down his scoring rates, stopped taking any chances. Rashid Khan is bowling quite well, although has not picked up any wickets till now. Anant, talking about Sri Lankan cricket, you've seen them rising and you've seen them falling. What led to their rise first, and what has paved way for the fall?
I think the rise was because a group of cricketers got together and under the leadership of Karunaratne, they were determined and they were quite very, very talented players like Arvinder De Silva, Chaminda Vas, Pramodya Vikramasinghe, who wanted to do well for Sri Lanka, and they did it. And they played a very, very vital part. Yes, they didn't have to play so many matches. We go for a break. Sri Lanka are 177 for the loss of 6 wickets. Back in a jiffy.
You are tuned into Sports Flashes Radio, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes, the official broadcast partner of BCCI. Sports Flashes, everything about sports.
Welcome back to Sports Flashes. We are at the beginning of the 32nd over, which is about to start, but it seems there is a slight delay. Is it? Yes. Kusal Perera wants some change of a glove as well as a thigh pad. Is it a change of gear, or are there some instructions?
I think it's a bit of gamesmanship. Kusal Perera can see that there's mild drizzling on the ground, and he wants to take some extra time so that it starts pouring, and so that they don't have to bat any longer. So these are the tricks that the players use in order to delay the game. Kusal Perera, in between of the match, wants to change his equipment. Now there could be a bigger joke. In fact, ICC and the cricket lawmakers should be very, very strict, and such behavior should be taken to task, and he should be fined immediately. Put up 1 match ban. Why aren't you wearing proper gear before you come and play the match? Because what we are seeing in cricket these days, that there are too many breaks. Every over there is a break. In between every delivery there is a break. Now imagine a tennis match or a football match. There are absolutely no breaks.
Right.
Players keep playing, and here we are, players who make an attempt to take a break. Tying shoelaces, going for a water break or whatever. That's the problem with cricket, and the authorities have to ensure that the viewers are glued to the TV and get some action every second.
Yes, of course, that should be the way it should be. However, right now, Kusal Perera is back, facing the 32nd over, which is being bowled by Daulat Zadran. He's bowled 3 overs before that, given 17 runs. This was more like an inside edge, which has flown towards a deep fine leg, and he runs over for a single. There's some chit-chat going between him and Daulat. Not sure Daulat can speak a lot of English.
Maybe they have invented a new language while they've been at the crease, but Kusal Perera's hee-haw kind of shot is a bit surprising. I was expecting him to keep his head down and try and carry the innings together. Instead, he started indulging in gamesmanship. Anyway, that's the way he plays, and in fact, that's what Sri Lanka cricket is very famous for, especially from the days of Karunaratne, who used to indulge in all sorts of activities.
A wide hoik, no reason.
by coming down the track, and it's another wicket this time, and it's Thisara Pereira with a beautiful in-swinging to Mohammad Nabi. It goes between the bat and pad, and it strikes the middle and off stump. So another wicket falls for Afghanistan. It's now 57 for the loss of 5 wickets, as Thisara Pereira is now the new wicket taker for Sri Lanka.
Yes, another wicket there for Afghanistan, and this pretty much seems to be curtains. We were banking on their cup, as Pradeep has taken 2 wickets.
Lions, you mean?
Lankan Lions, yes. As Pradeep has picked up 2 wickets, giving away just 6 runs. And the last wicket was an in-swinging delivery from Thisara Pereira. When was the last time that he was swinging the ball?
So you can just see if Thisara Pereira is swinging the ball, then you just have to feel sorry for Afghanistan. And like I said, the lack of experience in a big tournament will come into play, and that is exactly why Afghanistan haven't been able to put in really good performance over here with the bats. It's 60 for 5. Just when Hazratullah Zaizai was going good, their fans were quite happy that their things were going, but just after the loss of that wicket, it's all gone downhill for them. It's 60 for 5. Still a lot of cricket remaining. You'll have to say Devon Pradeep is a new bats bowler who just bowled a good delivery outside the off stump, but it's been wonderfully driven by Najibullah towards the cover region, and that is a beautiful cover drive. It goes for a 4. Score now is 64 for 5, and more happy faces in the Afghanistan fan base. 14.3 overs have been bowled. Najibullah has struck 2 beautiful cover drives. In one delivery, he got 3 runs. In the second one, he gets a 4. So still quite a bit of batting remaining for them.
The first good shot that I've actually witnessed in this innings. One of the deliveries, one of the batsmen who has actually played on the front foot. He's brought his foot out and timed the ball when it should have been met, and that has resulted in a 4. The other Afghanistani batsmen have been on the back foot, have been just waiting for the ball to do something and then adjusted accordingly, whereas Zadran has come out to the front foot and played the ball on the merit of it. So if the ball is swinging, this is how you play the swinging ball, and that would be probably the message from Zadran to his other teammates that this shouldn't have been the case. However, Afghanistan are 65 for 5, 14.4 overs have been bowled. Another 5 overs needed after this one for the teams to get a result out of this match, even if it rains. So for Afghanistan to get a result in their favor, they need to put on at least 40 more runs in the quota of 20 overs, because they've lost 5 wickets.
It's a bouncer bowled by Nuwan Pradeep. A good bouncer there. So first one for the over. The dot delivery, 65 for 5. The score remains out after 14.5 overs. 5 runs coming off this over so far. And Afghanistan, the Afghani batsmen will have to be a little cautious over here, because they've lost half their side over here. Kulpati Naib, the captain, is out there, so that's a good news for them. And I think the captain, the leadership role in him might just influence some positive energy in the Afghanistan camp, because that is exactly what's needed at the moment. With 122 more runs to get, he's defended the final delivery of Nuwan Pradeep. It's 65 for 5 after 15 overs.
This is Sports Flashes Live. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes, everything about sports.
65 for 5 now after 15 overs. And it's Afghanistan who need 122 more runs, and still loads and loads of overs remaining, because it is a 41 over game. 15 overs have been bowled. It's Thisara Pereira this time, who bowls it outside the off stump once again to Najibullah, and he's playing like Saurav Ganguly at the moment, because whatever comes outside the off stump, he's punishing it for a 4.
Yes, a brilliant shot there towards the cover region for yet another boundary. The only thing that we would want to highlight on this one, that his foot movement, it was glued. So it's a mixture of Saurav Ganguly and Virender Sehwag. Both good players on the offside. But what is important in these conditions in England is that your foot should move along with your bat. Otherwise, it's just going to be on the hand-eye coordination. And in case if there's a bit more purchase, bit more swing, this will result in yet another catch in the slip region.
Well defended on the next delivery by Najibullah. So, he's brought in some positive energy over here. Some attacking cricket, 12 of 7 deliveries he's moved on to. 2 boundaries under his belt, batting with a strike rate of 150. Kulpati Naib on the other end is still to come off the mark. Is 69 for 5 is the score for Afghanistan. They need 118 more runs to win, and quite a few predictions now going in favor of Sri Lanka. And once again, lovely batting there by Najibullah, and it's just a treat to watch left-hander cover drive. There's just something so remarkable, something just quite pleasing. Whenever a left-hander plays a cover drive, I still don't have no clue as to why that is the case, but why does it feel so pleasant whenever a left-hander plays a cover drive?
Yes, it's always soothing to the eyes when a left-hander is on the charge, he plays his shots, and this time again, it was again hand-eye coordination. The foot we were talking about, the foot movement is still lacking. It was glued on the crease yet again. But what has happened for Afghanistan is that there have been two welcome boundaries, I would say, after the loss of 5 wickets. Afghanistan are now 73 at the moment after 15.4 overs. So they would need at least 30 odd more runs in the next 4 overs if rain has to play spoil sport, and they will be at par with the Duckworth-Lewis score. However, if the game has to go on, they still need runs less than 4 runs per over. So far so good. How do you think, or what do you think should be their approach in terms of playing this game out?
Well, in terms of needing runs, they are on course, so they don't need to do anything extravagant at the moment. They just need to keep their wickets intact, the two batsmen over there. And like we said, it's all about one good partnership, because if they get one good partnership over here, they also have Rashid Khan in the lower middle order who can score a quick 5, 15 or 20 runs. So if they get something close to 70 or 80 runs, these two batsmen, then Afghanistan are very well in the race to win this game. So they need to be a little cautious. They need to show a little bit maturity. That is all Afghanistan need right now. Maturity is what is needed, because if you consider the runs that are needed and the balls that are required are remaining, then Afghanistan are very well in the hunt. But after 16 overs, the score is 73 for 5.
You are listening to Sports Flashes Live. Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel.
Welcome back, as Afghanistan are trying to play for their pride. At the moment, they are 73 for 5 in 16 overs, chasing a modest target of 187 in 41 overs. But what has happened is that they've lost wickets in consecutive succession. And at the moment, Gulbuddin Naib, the captain of Afghanistan, is at the crease, along with Najibullah Zadran, who has played 2 brilliant shots on the cover region, both resulting in boundaries, and some confidence for one of the Afghani batsmen. 3 in total have been corrected, but in the last over there were 2. So some form there for Zadran, while Gulbuddin Naib, his role would be just to give him company and stay till the end.
Absolutely. Gulbuddin Naib finally gets off the mark by punching it towards the point region. 74 for 5. The score moves on to Pradeep, who has who's been bowling quite well for Sri Lanka. Has taken 2 wickets for 12 runs in his 4.1 overs. Coming around the wicket to Najibullah delivers a good length ball to the batsman, the left-hand batsman. He defends it, and the final moment, so no runs taken there. 74 for 5. The score remains at, and he's batting quite well. He has a little bit of a swagger in his batting, and he's middling the ball, so that's good news for Afghanistan and the fans.
Well, indeed, it is good news for Afghanistan at the moment, because they haven't had much to cheer in the second innings. The only shining light was the innings of Hazratullah Zazai, who scored 30, but after that, it has just been single figures. Mohammad Shahzad scored 7, Rahmat Shah scored 2, Hashmatullah Shahidi scored 4, and Mohammad Nabi just managed 11. So it is important for these two who have got some sort of a start, Naib on 1 and Najibullah on 16, to stay at the crease and build this platform, because the rain at the moment doesn't seem to be in the picture, but we never know. This is England. At the moment, it seems to be clear, and with 112 more needed, they definitely need a partnership of 50-60 runs so that the batsmen to come can breathe at ease.
Once again defended quite well by Najibullah, and if you talk about his ODI figures, he's played 58 ODI games for Afghanistan, averages 31.09, has struck 10 50s, and also has 100 under his belt, highest score of 104. So you can see that he has experience over there. He's got some runs under his belt, so I'm sure he will be thriving for this competition. And if he does manage to pull this off, then this would do Afghanistan and Najibullah a word of good in the confidence as he just defends the next delivery. This time Nuwan Pradeep comes over the wicket, doesn't do any harm, and score remains at 75 for 5.
Well, Nuwan Pradeep was included in today's game as Jiva Mendes was rested, and what an inclusion it has been for Sri Lanka. He's picked up 2 wickets, 2 important wickets, giving away just 13 runs in his 4.4 overs. And from Sri Lanka's point of view, Sri Lanka's perspective, yes, they posted a modest total, a mere total of 187, but the way they are making a game out of this contest is something that is commendable. Yes, they have their backs against the wall, but the fight is still there. So they want to prove a point, and it is pretty much evident in the team's performance at the moment.
Well, you could say that Sri Lanka are playing for pride, because most of the people in the cricketing fraternity must have said that Afghanistan are the favourites of this game. And let's be honest, Sri Lanka, they have been in the fray of cricket for quite some time now. They have had dominating teams. They have had superstars of their time. And when they get to hear something like Afghanistan being as the favourites of the tournament, no disrespect to Afghanistan, they have had a phenomenal rise. But you'll have to say that obviously they will be affected by what all was being said behind their back. So they have taken that into notice, and now they're putting in a decent performance. It's 76 for 5, but still a long way to go for Sri Lanka to win this game.
Yes, 111 more needed for Afghanistan. Nelson is the figure, is what they need. But at the moment, Sri Lanka are making a contest out of this one. After this over, there will be 24 overs as it's a full-length delivery, which has been played towards the cover region, but no run on that occasion. 17 overs gone. Afghanistan 76 for 5.
This is Sports Flashes Live.
Mika Häkkinen, the flying Finn from Helsinki, is on his last lap. Looking magnificently good for his 20th World Championship win.
Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes.
Welcome back as we commence the proceedings. Pradeep has been replaced by Thisara Pereira for the 18th over. This one could have resulted in yet another wicket. A strong appeal from Pereira, and Nigel Long has denied. We'll have to see whether he goes for referral or not. Maybe not, because the other players are smiling. It was only Pereira who was excited on that occasion, while the captain Karunaratne and the keeper Pereira have just praised him with claps and smiles.
But for a moment there, even Nigel Long was not looking confident. He did give the leg umpire a look, asking him if there was a nick or not, but clearly there wasn't a nick. It was quite close to that, to the outside edge, but good bowling, you'll have to say, by Thisara Pereira. And his all-round abilities are coming at work at the moment for Sri Lanka. And I think that catch has to be the reason why Sri Lanka find themselves at a dominating position at the moment, because that catch taken by Thisara Pereira was a fantastic one, and we've already seen some blinders in this tournament so far, and it's been like 5 or 6 days so far, and we've already seen some blinders, so this catch might just decide the game.
Exactly, not just the catch, it's the wicket of Mohammad Nabi as well, which was taken by Thisara Pereira, a clean bowled for him, and the swing that he generated on that delivery is something that has changed the game totally in Sri Lanka's favour. Meanwhile, there's a misfield by the keeper, and that has resulted in a bye. Afghanistan at the moment have not cruised, I won't say the word cruised, but have found some sort of respite after losing 5 wickets at the score of 57. They have built a partnership. 20 odd runs have been posted for this wicket, and they would be heavily reliant, as both of these, Gulbuddin Naib and Najibullah Zidran, are probably the last recognized pair, because after this there's Rashid Khan and there is Daulat Zadran and Mujibur Rahman. Meanwhile, a sharp single taken there. It has a direct hit from the fielder there, but it seems that the player has made the ground. However, it's still been referred, so close call.
Well, the good news is for Afghanistan, you'd have to say that Gulbuddin's intention was clearly to take a quick single. As soon as he struck the ball towards the mid-off region, he went and with no intention of backing out, went for that. And as a result of that intent, I think he just might have survived over there. So good fielding there by the Sri Lankan fielder starting at mid-off, and good running between the wickets by Gulbuddin. So a single secured quite safely by him. It's 78 for 5 after 17.3 overs. The partnership now worth 21 between these two. And it's 109 more runs now required for Afghanistan to win this game.
Yes, 109 more needed as Najibullah moves on to 17 from 19 deliveries, while Gulbadin Naib is on 2 from 6. Another brilliant cover drive there and another missed field from the Sri Lankan fielders. What is happening in this game? We have seen a lot of misfields from Afghanistan. We've seen a lot of extras from them. And now Sri Lanka is repaying the favor, one would say.
Well, you'll have to say that because Sri Lanka had given 31 runs in extras. They had also some misfield opportunities, and you could actually see that those extras and those misfields could actually turn out to haunt Afghanistan in the time to come. It's 80 for 5 at the moment after 17.5 overs. One final delivery remains to be bowled. It's a short one. It has to be a wide, and it is a wide, I guess. Yes, it is a wide. Nigel Long gives it as a wide, so 81 for 5 now the score is after 17.5 overs.
Yes, so Pereira in his third over, he's given away 15 runs and picked up the crucial wicket of Mohammad Nabi, but somewhat has faltered in this over as he's bowled deliveries outside off stump or too short, the last one being a wide as a result of that. 81 for 5, 106 more needed as he races for his last delivery. Another short delivery, this one probably will be called a wide again, so 2 more extras as I was referring. Misfield and extras are the call of
They are the call of the hour, and Sri Lanka are not seeming to learn over here because they are not having a dominating total over here. They do not have a competitive total over here. They know that they have taken 5 wickets, but you can't just afford to do that because the more the number of runs come over here, Afghanistan will have some confidence under their belts. Finally, the over has concluded. Dot ball to finish with. It's 82 for 5 after 18 overs.
You are tuned into Sports Flashes Radio, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes, the official broadcast partner of BCCI. Sports Flashes, everything about sports.
Welcome back as we bring you the live coverage of Afghanistan versus Sri Lanka. I am Sahil Magoo and with me is Wali Siddiqui, and you're tuned into Sports Flashes as Afghanistan at the moment are 82 for 5 in 18 overs. Lasith Malinga, the veteran, Sri Lankan veteran, has been introduced into the attack as they would look to pick another wicket or so and dent the chances of Afghanistan team chasing this total.
82 for 5 now after 18 overs. Lasith Malinga, the new bowler he's bowling his 5th over, and he's also taken a wicket, but it's been driven extravagantly by the skipper Gulbadin Naib. I think this has to be the shot of the day, and it didn't even hit the stump on the other end, so a beautiful shot and straight drive. Straight drive is always a treat to watch. What a beautiful shot there by Gulbadin.
Over pitch delivery there by Lasith Malinga, and what a shot there. You could see the bat maker's name clearly because it was played with a straight bat and it just whizzed past to the stumps on the opposite end as Nigel Long just walked his way and just signaled for a 4. So brilliant shot there by Gulbadin Naib. Definitely a confidence booster when you're able to play a straight drive, and it's followed by a short delivery that's been pulled for yet another boundary. So 2 consecutive boundaries as the score moves on to 90, and Afghani fans are going crazy in the audience.
Well, so that's how the pendulum swings, and it's now 90 for 5. The partnership now looking a little bit deadly at the moment. It's now 33 runs between the two. 97 runs is what are needed by Afghanistan to win this game against Sri Lanka. Gulbadin Naib is on 10 of 8, finally looking in good touch, and Hazratullah, in fact Nazibullah Zadran is on 19 of 21.
Sid has joined us in the comm box and will be replacing me soon. He just informs us about the fact that Afghanistan need 104 at the loss of 5 wickets after 20 overs in case there is more rain after that. So 90, almost there, 14 more needed. It's definitely gonna be when you see the win predictor, it's 54 Sri Lanka, 46 Afghanistan. So the game is in balance, and if they are able to score 14 runs and if there's rain again, so even Stevens, one would say.
Absolutely. So even though it is a low scoring competition, and even though there are limited number of overs over here, it's turning out to be a nail biter. And we did talk about the pattern of this World Cup because the first game wasn't a one-sided affair. The second game was also a one-sided affair. But as the games grew on, talking about that game between Bangladesh and South Africa. It was slightly close between these two. Those two. Then the game against Pakistan and England, it was even closer. And you never know, this one might turn out to be even closer than the previous game that we saw between Pakistan and England. It's 91 for 5 as Malinga has just delivered a wide delivery down the leg side. So an extra run once again. 91 for 5 score moves on to 18.3 overs have been bowled. 4 fielders outside. Deep point, square leg, third man and fine leg over here. It's been pulled away once again, but this time a good fielding effort by Thisara Pereira. And it could have gone for a boundary, but well done in the field.
Well, if there were Afghan fielders there, that would have definitely gone for a boundary, because that's what we have seen in the first innings. Simple fieldings, but they have not found their footing or have just been fumbling the ball so much that it has resulted in extra runs. We were talking about the extras. The extras for Afghanistan were the second highest contributors for Sri Lanka. They gave 35 extras. So you can imagine, had they curtailed, even if half of those were restricted or saved somehow, these are not the extras in the missed field or the overthrows. These are the extras because of wides and leg byes. So add 10 more to it, and 45 to 50 runs you've just given away to the opposition. If they were more disciplined, this could have been a target approximately 140, 145.
So in short, they could have just wanted 55 or 45 runs to win this game, and it would have been very well in the bag. But I think they will learn from their mistakes now. But it's 92 for 5. It's not over yet. And Sri Lanka, well, the thing which they need to continue to do is keep on chipping in with the wickets, because Najibullah is batting quite well along with Gulbuddin as he flicks it towards the mid-wicket region, and they rush for 2 runs. A good running, aggressive cricket by the two Afghanis. It's now 94 for 5 after 19 overs.
One station filled with full football fever.
Thinks about the shot, will go for it, and will plant an absolute cracker into the corner to put the icing on what is a very sweet-tasting cake for Manchester City.
And you are just one click away.
Sergio Aguero. Oh, that's vicious! Unstoppable!
Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel.
It's 93 for 5 now, Afghanistan. 19 overs have been bowled. This is Wali Siddiqui now being joined with RJ Sid as he gave a prediction that Sri Lanka would be the favourites of the game, and Sahil along with me, we thought that Afghanistan will be winning this game, but right now it's evenly poised.
Well, I always say form is temporary, class is permanent, and class-wise, Sri Lanka is a bigger team than Afghanistan. They've just started their career in international cricket, and what they are doing clearly shows their inability and inexperience to cope at the highest level. 187 a target given definitely by Sri Lanka's poor performance while batting, and now Afghanistan is making a mess of their chase.
Well, they were making a mess of it, but now they've slightly revived it because the partnership between the two is now worth 36 of 33 deliveries. So, for Sri Lanka's sake, a wicket at this stage would be important, and for Afghanistan's sake, it would be important that these two carry on to take forward the momentum of the batting lineup. It's 93 for 5 now.
Let's have a look how much of batting Afghanistan boasts after one of these gets out. Well, we have run Daulat, Zadran, Mujibur Rahman, Hamid Hassan. Hamid Hassan and Mujibur Rahman, I'm very sure, do not know how to really bat much. But Rashid Khan, I've been told, can score a quick 20.
Yes, he can. We've seen that in the shortest format. We've seen it in the Big Bash League. We've seen it in the IPL.
Let's put 20 of Rashid Khan. 1 wicket goes down here. Daulat Zadran makes another 15. That's 35 run. Mujibur Rahman 5. Hamid Hassan 5. That's 45. Still short of 40 runs.
And some wides also coming by Sri Lanka. So how could you rule that out?
Still short of 30. Where are you going? Those final 30 runs from?
By Najibullah and Gulbuddin Naib, don't you worry.
That is considering the two of them continue to bat. If they continue to bat, there's no need for Rashid Khan to come and play a hand.
And that is why I feel that spell by Lasith Malinga will be quite crucial. How many overs has he bowled? He's bowled 5 overs, so 2 more or 3 more overs?
3 maximum, 3.
3 more overs remain to be bowled of his. 4 more overs. In fact, one bowler can bowl 9 overs, and Lasith Malinga's spell will be quite crucial. If Afghanistan managed to dig out that spell, then I think they will be in cruise control of this game.
Well, if I was their captain, I would give Isuru Udana that extra over.
Yes, left arm pacer who mixes it in. I think he can also turn out to be quite lethal. So, worrying times at the moment, you'll have to say for Sri Lanka. Thisara Perera, I think he's done his job. He's taken a wicket already, so I think it's time to remove him. And you need your frontline bowlers over here because it's just a matter of 1 or 2 wickets. You can't just prolong the game even more if it's a low-scoring game. So you need your frontline bowlers as quick as possible over here.
Sri Lanka definitely cannot restrict Afghanistan to a total below 187 without getting them all out. That is the last ball of the over. Guided towards third man intelligently by Gulbadin, who takes a single. Afghanistan move on to 96 for the loss of 5 wickets after 20 overs.
You are tuned into Sports Flashes Radio.
And what a performance by the number 3 seed, Saina Nehwal, who tomorrow will contest a third All-England semi-final.
Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes. This is Sports Flashes Live.
The flying Finn from Helsinki is on his last lap, looking magnificently good for his 20th World Championship win.
Download Sports Flashes app or visit www.sportsflashes.com. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes. This is Sports Flashes Live. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes, everything about sports. You are tuned into Sports Flashes Radio, world's biggest sports radio channel. Sports Flashes, the official broadcast partner of BCCI. Sports Flashes, everything about sports. You are listening to Sports Flashes Live. Sports Flashes, world's biggest sports radio channel.
96 for 5 now after 20 overs. It's Najibullah Zardan who is batting on 21 along with Gulbadin Naib, the captain of Afghanistan, who's batting on 13 of 21 deliveries, and this partnership will be pivotal for Afghanistan in order to win this game because not much batting lineup left after this. It's now with 39 at the partnership between these two of 38 deliveries, and Hassan Malinga, well, he's given away 31 runs in 5 overs, and Thisara Perera on the other end has given away 19 of 4 runs, and the World Cup game that took place in 2015 between Sri Lanka and Afghanistan, you could see that Sri Lanka won the game by 4 wickets when Afghanistan scored 232, so they didn't make life easy for Sri Lanka back then either.
Yes, Thisara Perera there played a crucial inning of 47 not out of only 26 balls, and Sri Lanka were able to scrape past Afghanistan. So Afghanistan did really play well in that World Cup and made a mark for themselves. However, today the Afghan fans want a replica, a repeat of what Pakistan did to England. Pakistan gave their fans an Eid gift, and that is what the Afghan fans want. That is what they are writing on Twitter. Win this match and give us an Eid gift, Afghanistan.
I'm sure that they would want to celebrate the festival of Eid with a win over here, because it will bring a lot of joy in the nation as well, and I'm sure for the players as well. It's 96 for 5 after 20 overs. Surinder Lakmal is the new bowler in, and it's been officially played by Gulbadin Naib, but just short of the fielder starting at mid-on, who was Hassan Malinga. So he survives, thus Gulbadin Naib, and Lakmal has bowled 2 overs. He was fairly expensive in those 2 overs. He gave away 18 runs. and it will be his second delivery. If you talk about the current run rate, it's 4.76. The required run rate well under control. So the run rate is something which is nothing to be worried about for Afghanistan. It's the wickets column which is to be looked at by them.
Yes, of course. Lasith Malinga was the fielder of the last ball, and Malinga, his stats are quite interesting. The last time Sri Lanka won an ODI which included Malinga was in June 2017. That's 2 years. No match Malinga has won for Sri Lanka.
Wow. Okay, so an interesting stat there brought to brought in front of all of us. So the last ODI that Sri Lanka won with Malinga in their team was way back in 2017. So I'm sure they would be looking to change their fortunes over here, as it's 96 for 5 after 22 overs. 40. It's Gurbadi Naib, the man on strike, who's on 13 of 16. As this time he defends Lakmal. No runs taken over there. And even if you look at the wicket right now, there is a hint of movement and it is a bit nippy. So it's not all easy for the batsman.
However, it seems to have eased a bit compared to when Afghanistan started to bat, and in fact when Lakmal has started his bowling and taken the first wicket. Now the thing is with this match that both the teams have tried desperately to lose the match one by one, and right now it's in a fine balance with Afghanistan needing 91 runs 91 more runs to win with 20.3. That's exactly the number of overs that they've batted are left. Now one ball less, 20.4 overs bowled. Afghanistan 96 for 5. The game is in doldrums right now. You cannot predict which team is going to win, but if Gulbadin and Najibullah, one of them is to get out, then it will be a big problem for the Afghans, and the fans of both the teams realize this. They've done all and rooting for the teams. Now they are silently waiting for one of the team to take a final upper hand.
96 for 5 as Gurbadi Naib this time tucks it away towards the mid-on region. Lasith Malinga collects it, single taken on that occasion. It's now 97 for 5. It was bowled at a pace of 128 kilometers per hour. Finally, for the very first time in Cardiff, the sun is in the sky. So some good sense for Afghanistan, because